You are listening to the Gate 7 International Podcast, a podcast connecting Olympiacos fans from Melbourne to Baltimore, from London to Piraeus. We are 4 Olympiacos fans from every corner of the world, bringing you news and interviews of the team you love in English. With new episodes twice a week, you'll never lose the latest updates and stories of the team you love. This is our team, our city, and our land. Man Aoniro Thrylos. You're listening to the Gate 7 International Podcast.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Gate 7 International. This is episode 130, your English home for all things Olympiacos FC and Greek football. I've got Costa Levoyanis here. My name is Peter. We have got post-game analysis. We beat PAOK, always a cause for celebration. The first half was brilliant. The second half was good enough to get over the line and get the 3 points. We are back on top of the league. PAOK are not. They will go home crying to Thessaloniki, which is always nice to see. Costa, how's it going? Any thoughts on the game? Any thoughts on the team? What are we thinking today?
What's up, everyone? Yeah, welcome to the show. 2-1 victory tonight. Win's a win. Like you said, Peter, I think first half was very good. Some pace in the team. Second half was horrible, something to forget as a fan, but hopefully still a lot to learn for the team. We can dive more into it during the show. I see more and more people are coming in. Do remember, guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Keep growing the community. We are Gate 7 International, by the fans, for the fans. We're here after every game, pretty much in Europe as well with our previews. So thanks so much for your support. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll get into this game. And it's a derby against the bitter rival. So yeah, overall happy, but a little bit concerned at the performance in the second half, Peter.
Absolutely. And you know, we don't want to be too negative because obviously, you know, we have to say PAOK, you know, they've got a decent team this year. They can score lots of goals. And it is very reassuring to come out of this with the 3 points. I think as bad as the second half was, I think we deserved the 3 points today. We have a comment from Dimitris Tasidimos. Hello, guys from Greece. We had an amazing first half, but the second half we had some troubles. Anyway, we keep the 3 points and we keep on dreaming. I think that sums it up pretty well. So it's really nice to just get those 3 points, to beat PAOK, even in the empty stadium with no fans today, which is very unfortunate. We know Lambro would have probably been able to go to the game today if they were going to let fans in, because he's back in Greece. And obviously with these games with a quiet atmosphere, we didn't have the fans behind us today. And we still get it done. The first half was brilliant. Martins made a bit of a ballsy move and gave Garry Rodriguez the start, which is something that we'd mentioned. We kind of wanted to see more of him. He obviously played for PAOK in the past. You know, we were hoping for a bit of a revenge game from Garry. He plays pretty well, I think, Costa on the right side, linking up with Kenny Lala quite nicely on a number of occasions. He was nearly got an assist, right, on that shot when Arabi hit the post. Played well, and then it seems like at halftime, Pedro Martins lost all sense. Subs off Garry. We still don't know, or at least I don't know, Costa. I didn't watch the post game. I don't know if it was addressed. It seems like Garry somehow getting injured would be the only way that this makes sense, but I haven't heard anything. Our favorite haircut merchant, Henry Onyekuru, comes on and does what Henry Onyekuru has done for Olympiacos in his first few weeks here, which is nothing. For 45 minutes, we see Bouhalakis again after, you know, he's been really run into the ground and is playing rather poorly. So a couple questionable things in the second half tactically. A couple players that you could see really could do with being subbed off. They were getting fatigued. Aguibou Camara and Mvila are two names that come to mind as far as players I wanted to see get off a bit early, and Martins left them on. We lost a lot of presence in our midfield. PAOK were more threatening. They got a lot of set pieces. We are still struggling a bit with the set pieces. There was that one when Michailidis hit the bar and he was completely open. And if anyone who's not a defender would have put that in the back of our net. And then, of course, they do get the one goal later on. But I think luckily it was a bit too late for them to score another. So like I said, though, I think it's deserved that we get the 3 points. There's things to improve on. Really a head scratcher in the second half. But the first half was beautiful football. And nice to see Yorgos Masouras with a goal, by the way, as well. We have to give him a shout out, as I always will say, Masurinho. Very happy to see him with another goal.
Absolutely. Jake Lulas from Adelaide, Australia says, great win, but would have been nice to smash them. Yeah, anybody that was watching the Manchester United-Liverpool game right before this game.
Always at the wheel.
Yeah, we would have loved to smash them 5-0, mate.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, but okay, it's early on in the season. We're going to play them at least 3 more times this year. So, look, honestly, I want to try and address things from the beginning. So, the lineup was a nice surprise for me. I'm glad that he went for me, what was an attacking 4-2-3-1 formation. I was very happy to see that. I think Bouchalakis has been run into the ground as well. I think today really answered a question that I had in my mind, and I thought I'd made my mind up, but today kind of sealed it. And I'm talking about, what position does Aguibou Camara fit the best in? So we brought this kid in as a winger, as a left winger. But every time I've seen him play on the wing, haven't really fancied it so much. And we saw that in Frankfurt when he started out on the wing. Not as influential in the game as he is when he plays in the middle, where he can press, he can directly run through the middle. I think he was for me man of the match today. He has the assist on the second goal. He has the first goal, albeit with a bit of fortune from the deflection. But I think for me today really answers that question as to, where's this guy fitting in best for our team. He could develop his skills on the wing. He's still very young. He still needs to bulk up. But for me, I said it before Frankfurt. This kid, he cannot be playing out on the wing for us. I think he gives us more in the middle. Today proved it, and I hope that it's not just me that saw that, and it's the coach that saw that today. And yeah, I mean, Labro and I were in Frankfurt for the game. Not much to remember.
Beautiful city, I've been told.
I mean, look, I can talk about Frankfurt, but it was an adventure. It was an adventure for sure. We can talk about that later. But yeah, guys, Aguibou Camara is our number 8/10 in the midfield. Wonderful player. That was a question that was answered for me today. In the first half, and we had speed in the first half. Garry Rodriguez, it was, I think, it was a ballsy move, but what does that show? It shows to me that we haven't done well with our acquisitions on the wing over the summer. Rony Lopes, he wasn't even on the bench today. Is that a message to him? I mean, we're getting to the end of October now, and he hasn't started a game in I don't know how long. I think he started one game at the start of the season against Atromitos, and that's it. Like, I'm going to say it now: December, January, back to Seville, termination of loan. Like that. That's what today shows for me as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to say as well, we have these 3 wingers. We have Henry, we have Garry, and we have Rony Lopes. And Garry is the last one to arrive, and he's not allowed to play in Europe, so there's less experience for him, and he already looks to be the best of the 3. Costa, is it just me, or is Garry Rodriguez faster than the pace merchant Henry Onyekuru? It just seems like Garry has so much more pace, like when we actually see him run, and then Henry Onyekuru comes on and he's barely outrunning Rodrigo on the right for PAOK. Garry looked great. It's, you know, I've been surprised by how good of an acquisition that is. Rony Lopes, I think, is going to be a Vinagre type, not criticizing him personally the way I would criticize Vinagre, but it's going to be that type of thing where he's one to forget and goes back to Sevilla very soon, I think. I don't know what's going to happen with Henry. And, you know, a quick word about Aguibou as well, Costa, because, I mean, I totally agree. And I think his best aspect as a player is his motor. When we don't have the ball, he's very active in pressure. He had, like you said, the second goal, he just won the ball. The first goal, he was sort of in there with Oleg winning the ball as well, and then obviously scored. He just gets after it, which we know Martins loves, and that's, you know, one of the reasons that we always say he's one of the first names on the team sheet. But as far as what his position is, for me, he has to be in midfield somewhere. I'd even prefer him, like you say, maybe in a 4-3-3 a little bit deeper than I would on the wing. And like Labro always says in our chat, you know, we don't want him to get Loverad, where, you know, he gets played as a winger and he's not really a winger, and it sort of stunts his growth, and we have to send him off and we never get to see. Because it's so clear that he's an amazing talent, truly. I mean, there are Premier League clubs sniffing around right now, Costa. We have to say that. He's an amazing talent in the center of the midfield, and I think like today is just another reason that shows that. The only thing that I have to complain about him is it seems like we can't get a full 90 minutes where he's playing really well, and maybe he's so high energy early on, he runs out of steam. And gets physically and mentally exhausted by the time the second half rolls around. Maybe it's just me. I don't know what you think about this, Costa, but it seems like his first halves are always much better than his second halves, both from a terms of activity as well as decision-making and production.
I have to say that I'm quite troubled with our defensive midfielders and Maddie at the moment. I think they're very tired. They've been playing back to back. We know now officially that Yanin Villa contracted COVID during the summer. We had suspected this, and we had some information suggesting that he had contracted COVID over the summer, but the reporting at the time was that he had a thigh strain and was out, like knocked out of some games. And remember, he played in the Ludogorets game. He came on in the second half. I was at that game. I think the trouble with the midfield is that those guys aren't fully fit yet, and then that has an impact on Maddie. I think it has an impact on Aguibou. They've been traveling to Africa a couple of times already with their national team. Maddie, to me right now, looks like he's playing at 65%. Maybe he's not at his best. I think that the over reliance on Bouchalakis as well it's worn in on the midfield in terms of the energy, and I think Aguibou and Maddie have really tried to step up, and they can't do it alone. Mm-hmm. Then the question for me is, why isn't Pierre Koundé getting more time in the midfield? That's a bit of a weird one, but I mean, we saw that in Frankfurt. The midfield was completely overrun. The defense was under so much pressure because the midfield just couldn't cope. So I think you hit on a really important point. Now we don't have a European game this week, so some time to rest, to do some therapy, and then get ready for next week's game. I think it's against Panetolikos. We play next week. Before we play Frankfurt at home, so hopefully they, you know, we trust the management will manage the training schedule accordingly this week to make sure the players are fit next week. But yeah, the situation in the midfield is a bit weird right now.
Costa, what are your thoughts on this comment from Erythrolevki? I swear I know how to say that. I'm just tongue twisted. But anyway, Erythrolevki Mastura. Is it just me, or is Mari not motivated at all? And then we have another one from Storatosok. I don't know. Madi wants to and will leave. And, you know, we know obviously what happened this summer. It seemed like he would be gone. I don't think we expected him to be here. He's been an incredible player for this club. He has earned his move to a big club, and he is still here. He's playing Europa League football. Do you think there's a factor there? Because I think what we've seen from him this year, it's good because he's Madi Camara, and he's just an incredibly talented player. He's too good for this league, but it's not the Madi Camara that we've seen in the past, in my opinion. Maybe he's just tired. Maybe it's the rest of the midfield not being there for him. But do you think there's something to do with maybe him being a bit disappointed he's not gotten his big move over the summer?
I think it's a bit of both. Maybe, I mean, we're speculating here, but it's definitely something that's crossed my mind, is that, you know, why isn't Madi as good as I remember him being last year? He can be better than what I'm seeing. I think it's a bit of both. I think it's been a very hard, we talked about this before, it's been a very hard summer for the club in terms of everything that happened with the COVID outbreak in the team, and in particular hitting on our midfield. So I think it's a bit of both. But at the same time, whenever I've heard Madi speak, or in general, I haven't got a sense, like, on the pitch that, you know, he's not going for that ball, or you know. So I think he's dedicated to the club. He's said it before. During the summer, he was crucial in terms of our European qualification, albeit we didn't qualify for the Champions League. I think he was one of our better players in the qualification campaign. So I mean, it is what it is. Madi probably shouldn't be here. Madi should be playing in the Premier League or in Serie A. It didn't happen for him. It's normal. But I think once we kind of get our players back to full fitness, we'll also see better play from him the rest of the season.
Yeah, and like, I want to clarify as well, like you kind of said, Costa, like Madi Camara is a top professional. Like, you know, he's up there for me with Cissé in terms of being a foreign player coming in and really taking to the Olympiacos mentality and understanding what it means to play here and wanting it and having that mentality of win every game. Like, he is that kind of player. But I think, as you said, he also probably expected to be playing in the Premier League or for Napoli or somewhere in Italy for a European club, you know, one of those top clubs in Serie A right now. And so I can see where maybe he's a bit sort of disillusioned with that. Who knows if anything will happen in the winter? Obviously, it's too early to tell right now, but it definitely seems like we haven't seen the Madi that we've seen in previous years. And maybe it is just Jan M'Vila is still coming back. He's still not 100%, I don't think. I was surprised he played 90 minutes today. Bouchalakis is no longer 100% because he's so unfit. Koundé is, we need to see more of him, as we always say, Costa. It's something with the manager's wife, I think. But he did get a little cameo today, and you know, he always looks strong and powerful on the ball when he comes in, even when he's playing a bit higher. I think they were just trying to have him up there to press today. But I think the key is to see more of Koundé, possibly. That gives other players some rest. He's can sort of gel well in the midfield there, and you know, we definitely haven't seen enough of him.
Have you noticed how Koundé never plays if Bouchalakis isn't on the pitch? That's something I've noticed. We've never seen M'Vila, Camara, Koundé midfield, and I thought we did once. Maybe not. Maybe early in the season. Maybe against Neftchi,
something like that. Maybe.
But generally, like, I see the tendency already from Martins that Camara and Koundé won't be on the pitch together. Because, I mean, let's face it, when we signed him in the beginning, we thought, okay,
this guy's supposed to replace Madi.
Yeah, this guy's coming in to replace Madi, or like kind of play that role in the midfield, more kind of box to box, like forward running midfielder. So that's been something that I've noted the last couple of weeks. Every time Koundé comes on, Bouchalakis is always going to be on the pitch. I'm happy that Jan played a 90 minutes today. I think it was important for him to kind of build up his fitness and be ready for the big games that are coming. He's clearly still not 100%, like nowhere near. I think I was listening on the radio last week. They were saying he's lost a lot of weight. I mean, he's lost muscle mass, so he needs to build that back up. He needs to get muscle. He needs to rebuild his muscles. So it's been we can't say 100% how COVID has affected players in the team. And one of them, by the way, Youssef El Arabi up front, doesn't look anywhere near as good as he was last year. He looks to be a couple of seconds slow in releasing the ball, and it's a bit frustrating. But there was a comment that I noticed, and I want to address that. So DK7 says, "Is Onyekuru a bust? Rony Lopes the same?" I generally don't like to make quick judgments of players before December, January. I like to wait until the end of December to be harsh or to be like overly enthusiastic. I said before we signed on Onyekuru that I'm not overly enthused by him. I can't believe we paid 5 million for this guy. If we paid 5 million, I just can't believe it. Just hasn't shown anything that shows to me that he's a 5 million euro player for a club like Olympiacos. He's been good tactically, defensively. Martins likes that. He likes a player on the wing that will track back, that will cover the defenders. I'll give him that. And everyone's been saying it. It's nothing new that I'm saying. But you take Rony Lopes, excuse me. My voice is still killing me from Thursday, man. Excuse me. Rony Lopes doesn't do that. He comes on, he'll lose the ball, and then he'll kind of trot back or like try and come back. But I don't see how Rony Lopes is on the squad in January. I just don't see it. He wasn't even on the bench today. So I think Rony Lopes is going to go back to Seville. I'm going to say that now.
Yeah, I don't really see him getting another chance. Like maybe against a bad team, maybe if we maybe next weekend against Panathinaikos, maybe he comes in. But like, is he going to do anything different? Let's be honest here. Like, as you say, the big determinant in whether you play for Martins, you can be like Henry Onyekuru and do nothing in attack, but if you at least know where to be positionally when we don't have the ball, and if you know, if you track back and if you can defend one-on-one a little bit, Martins seems to not care that you're shit offensively and he lets you play, but Rony Lopes doesn't do either of it. And then Costa, going to your comment about El Arabi, I was a bit disappointed by him today. I think it was a whole lot of holding onto the ball too long, as you sort of said. He was, checking in deep into the midfield to get the ball a lot, and typically don't mind that. We've commended him in the past for his hold up play and his ability to facilitate for others and to be a part of the team and to be involved. But like, I couldn't even count. It was 4 or 5 times it seemed where he would get the ball, from the defenders or something. And, he's meant to be passing it somewhere else or passing it forward, and he holds on to it too long and we lose the ball. And a couple of times it resulted in PAOK sort of getting on a counter and having favorable numbers. I don't think the goal was from El Arabi. I want to say that was Bouchalakis who let it go, but it was a bit unnerving. And of course, he had really the one chance where Garry gave him a nice ball and he hit the post or the bar, and then got the rebound and his header went over the bar. And that was pretty much all for him from shots that I can remember, maybe a couple others. But El Arabi didn't love it today from him. But hopefully it's just a bad day and he can bounce back from it.
Like I said, I think he's still getting back to match fitness. He's still not sharp. He's a couple of seconds slow. Saying that, when he's in the box, he nearly scored. He had that chance that was a cutback from Garry Rodriguez running down the right-hand side. The ball was behind him and he managed to get a good shot on goal. But I think it was tipped by Pascalakis onto the bar, and then he had that header that hit the top of the bar again. So get the ball to El Arabi in the box and he'll get it on target, and he'll, 8-9 times out of 10 he will score. But yeah, outside the box he's still not as sharp as we've gotten used to. Yes, he's 34 years old. Yes, he's a year older than he was last year. But yeah, hopefully that improves. There was a question. Costa. I just finished my Tigulia. Cheers, guys. Maichu, I just joined the stream, he says, and I want thoughts on Garry. I think we already said really quick. Like, for me, and I think Ari said this as well in our WhatsApp chat. He's what we hoped Onyekuru would be, only he was free. So, I mean, he gets the ball, he runs at people, he had energy, and he looked fast. Like the acceleration on he'd get the ball on the wing and he'd have the defender in front of him and he'd beat him with the first step and get the cross into the box. It was great to see. It was a breath of fresh air in the first half. And now, we can get into this question: what happened in the second half? As soon as we sat back down to watch the second half, the first thing we saw was Garry Rodriguez is coming off. Okay, maybe he's tired, maybe he's not match fit. The coach is trying to take care of him, doesn't want to overuse him. We're 2-0 up. But honestly, I mean, I think all of us were saying, what are you doing, coach? Taking him off. He's been one of our best players in the first half. So, immediately we lost that threat that we had on the wing when he came off, and it just wasn't the same when Henry Onyekuru came on. I can't remember us having a shot in the second half, doing anything. I just felt like the second half was woeful from us. It felt really slow, and just the goal was coming the last 10 minutes. I called it 5-10 seconds before it went in. And I said the last 10 minutes is going to be heart in mouth. It's going to be 2-1 and they're going to be pushing. And we're going to be scrapping to get a 2-1 win. Thankfully we did, but just the team was... None of the subs helped. I honestly can't think any of our subs in the second half helped us.
Yeah, the subs were atrocious. Like there's no other way for me to put it. Like you said, Garry Rodriguez, one of our best players, comes off. Henry comes on, and as a result of that, we become a lot less threatening in attack. I also think the midfield in general just got kind of tired, and I don't think Bouchalakis is the player to come on and address that problem. And as a result, like, we didn't have the possession we wanted. Bouchalakis, I think, had a bit of a rough appearance. He's still very, very battered down from playing all these minutes. And he gave the ball away quite a bit, playing ambitious balls or just losing it in possession. And as a result of that, as a result of our wing play becoming less threatening, we just could not string together some passes. And PAOK had a lot of opportunities where we gave away the ball in dangerous areas, and they came down and had a chance on goal. And they had a lot more set pieces in the second half as well, some of which just because they had the ball more, but they did end up getting a couple dangerous free kicks. I do like this comment from Ilios Gashi. I think Vrusai was okay. Vrusai is if you're going to take Garry Rodriguez off, you should have put Vrusai on, I think. He didn't play a lot, but he had a couple nice dribbles, getting by PAOK players, a couple nice movements. Did more in 10 minutes than Henry Onyekuru did in 45 minutes, folks. Definitely hope we can see more of him. He's Greek, so he doesn't take up a foreign spot or a non-EU spot or whatever. He's a very good player, and I hope he can get another chance, because we've seen it before the injury. We've seen it a little bit in flashes after the injury, and I just don't see an excuse. He does the work that Martins wants as well, it has to be said. I don't see an excuse for why he isn't playing more.
I mean, throughout the full stretch of a season in general, I think we can say that Martins is actually quite a fair coach in terms of picking the players that are performing. So I agree with you. I think when Mario came on, he showed more in 10-15 minutes that he was on than Henry Onyekuru did in 45, coming on at the beginning of the second half. So, there's obviously pressure. Like, if we really did pay 5 million euros for Henry Onyekuru, I understand there's pressure on the manager to try and find a way to, unlock him or unleash him on the opponent teams. just for now, we haven't found a way to do that.
Well,
so
Costa, let's not forget as well. I don't mean to interrupt, but like the thing of Henry, the scouting report we got on Henry, like, I mean, what we've seen in a red and white shirt is he doesn't do anything well. But what we got the scouting report was, he can get out in the counter, he can get out in this open space, and he can finish. We weren't doing that against, like, in the first half. We didn't have counters. We were just kicking PAOK's ass and taking the ball the whole time. Like, if anything, and we said it before we bought him, we said it when Adi was doing his deep dive, this is a player that maybe we can use in Europe when we're playing against much more competitive teams that we might not have possession the whole time. And Henry can get out in that counter and do something. Obviously, we're not playing like Manchester City anymore, but still, that was the point for me of signing him. He has the big game experience playing in the big derbies in Turkey. He's scored in those games. He gets out in the pace. He doesn't have the ability to take defenders one-on-one. He doesn't have the ability to get involved in build-up. That's not what he's looking to do. He can score, he can run, he can get out, he can finish those quick, one touch in open space with just the keeper. He wasn't gonna. What is he gonna do today against PAOK when we're controlling the game and possessing the ball? He's gonna do nothing, is what he's gonna do, and that's why it's even more puzzling why we force him into Greek games. If anything, force him into a European game where he might actually have some utility.
This is a really sad, unfortunate comment. DK7, I haven't seen Onyekuru beat one player one-on-one on the counter like Podence used to.
Forget Onyekuru. Have we seen any Olympiacos winger do that since Podence?
Guys, I hate it when the Greek media presents, this player and that player as the Podence replacement or the Churi Dominguez replacement. I read another comment earlier that we don't have a Churi Dominguez in the team. Churi Dominguez was a River Plate captain, guys, played in La Liga for many, many years, won the Europa League.
Played for Argentina as well.
Yeah, we don't have a Churi Dominguez, guys. And Podence is a player that if there wasn't riots at Sporting Lisbon, he never would have come to play in Greece. Don't fall into that trap of comparing Henry Onyekuru with Daniel Podence or whoever with Churi Dominguez. Just don't do it, guys. It will save you heightening your blood pressure, and just don't compare things that aren't comparable. We're comparing apples and oranges here. Henry Onyekuru doesn't have nothing on Daniel Podence. It is what it is. The best winger we have right now, or the two best wingers we have right now, are Yorgos Masouras and Garry Rodriguez. Plain and simple. Done. And Garry Rodriguez isn't available in Europe. And that's an issue because I said it before. Aguibou Camara should not be playing on the wing. Aguibou Camara should be playing in the middle. What we did against Frankfurt was suicide. I don't know what Martins was doing. I think Ari mentioned it, and I'm going to stop here. Ari said Martins is trying to outsmart himself. He should have just gone to that game with the same formation he did in Turkey. I don't understand why he did what he did. I wasn't surprised either. Opportunity lost. There's a good blog actually about that. Go on our website. You can read our thoughts about what happened in Frankfurt and why things went the way they did.
Costa, how about this? We're done comparing people to Podence. We're not going to have a winger like Podence for some time, guys. Just get used to that. But Thrylos, sad to say it, but Bruma was more useful than Onyekuru.
Possibly.
We have to say, I think Bruma had some shining moments for us. Was it the Panathinaikos game when he had a goal or two? He popped up. He popped up occasionally. Henry has scored for us, but I think this is a fair take from Thrylos. Bruma over Henry, and we weren't too kind about Bruma, but it's also there's time. There's time. We can't say for sure yet.
That is something that I'm pretty sure when we did the deep dive on Onyekuru, that was something that we we looked at specifically. But that's something that we can come back to and look at numbers, and that'll be an interesting exercise come December, January.
Yes. Well, any other questions in chat? We're winding down here, Costa. I think we'll probably get to man of the match coach's grade soon. A couple things I do want to say. First of all, we know some folks are still trickling in. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, people. We're pushing the numbers up. You know how it goes. You can't get people to subscribe if you don't beg incessantly on your channel. It's just the way it is. But you know, we post twice a week, go live after every game, and we're your one-stop shop if you want to talk about Olympiacos with somebody. So, you know, we are always here. And if you subscribe and turn on that little notification bell, you will know every time that we are going live, every time we upload something. And that way you won't ever miss any Gate 7 International content. Also, make sure if you're subscribed already, your work's not done, leave a like, give us a comment if you want as well. That boosts things on the algorithm. And feel free to check us out on audio as well. We know we have some audio listeners on Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. You can subscribe there as well, once again, so you don't miss any of our content. In that time of milking, we have a couple questions. Costa, I'll let you go first.
I just got one thing. Most of you know that Labro and I were in Frankfurt. Labro and I met for the first time face to face since I joined the pod.
I'm jealous. FOMO.
Yeah, it was really. I could do a 1 hour documentary about what happened in Frankfurt. Honestly, anyway,
some of it should not be. Let's just say
no. It was rough.
What happens in Frankfurt stays in Frankfurt.
It was rough. It was rough. But what I do want to say is that it was. We did have a couple of people come up to us. Labro had some people from Gate 7 Holland come up to him and ask him, "Are you that guy that does the show on YouTube?"
Oh, yeah.
I had a couple of people from the Gate 7 Germany crowd come up to me as well. So no, it was really nice, and just guys, what we're doing is really unique, bringing together Olympiacos fans from all over the world, connecting in English, providing this English speaking source for Olympiacos. We really appreciate all the support and the love that we've been getting. Speaking of Frankfurt, if you haven't followed us on Instagram yet, there's a lot of good stuff on our Instagram page. Go and check it out. Videos of the fans singing in the main square under torrential rain. Go and check it out. Go on our Instagram page at Gate7INTL. There's a lot of good stuff from Frankfurt. Go and check it out. I will be in Antwerp as well in December. Guys, if you haven't signed up to your local Gate 7 Sindesmi, to your fan clubs, if you're in London, if you're in Stockholm, if you're in Germany, London, check it out. Like, get in contact with us. Go and sign up to your local Gate 7 fan club. If you're interested in getting tickets for away games, like, go and support the fan clubs. Like, the guys at the fan clubs are coming together. Like, they support the team. It's a good cause. If you want any information on any of this stuff, like, send us a DM. We'll get back to you. New York, yeah, mate. DK7. I'm pretty sure there's a fan club in New York,
yes,
in Astoria. So it's going to be a bit of a trip to come to Belgium, to Antwerp. But if you're up for it, go and talk to your local fan club.
If I ever get to make it off this damn continent and get to a game, I better have people pointing me out and saying, "Oh, you're." No, I'm just kidding. A couple quick questions from the chat. We have Stratos OK. Will Semedo leave? Costa, I think I saw Semedo post on Instagram something about him training. I don't know if that was in Renti or just privately, but I don't think there's any new fronts on this whole thing. He's in Portugal. Okay.
He's left.
Yeah.
He's training with the second division team in Portugal. My take, no, he's done. I'm pretty sure the club's asked him to find a club to pay a fee and leave in January. I think he's done. remember Martins after the first game of the season, they asked him, Nova Sports journalists asked him, what about Semedo after all the stuff that happened, like with the allegations, and Martin said, Semedo is an Olympiacos player. I consider him, and I don't think the club's reciprocated on that, and he's still not training with the first team. He's back in Portugal now, so you can make your own assessment of that.
Costa, do you think if January winds down and they can't find a team for him, do you think they pull a Rafinha and just straight terminate his contract? Just let him go?
Excuse me. I think we'll get a fee. It might not be in the range of what we'd hoped. Like we were asking Benfica for 10 to 15 million last season. Maybe it's just going to be a question of covering the costs when we signed him, which was 4 to 5 million, if I remember well. So at this rate, it's dead weight. It's unfortunate because I think he is a good player. But
he's got too much baggage at this point, mate. Yeah. I honestly see him in a team like in a Turkish team or a Russian team, to be honest with you, like a Turkish team that plays Europa League football. But I don't know. He's very talented. But I think, he's got some off the field stuff holding him back. All red, white, best starting 11 from current squad. Costa, is it just the starting 11 from today? I think that's an easy one, right?
Is that a question? I will say one thing. There was another comment that came in today. What's happening with Karbovnik? Oh yeah, no idea. I haven't been super impressed, to be honest, since we signed him. We in the deep dive we said that he looked more interesting as a central midfielder than a wing back.
He's a little kid, man. He's tiny.
I was expecting that either he or Androutos would start right back today. And actually, looking at how the game went today, I'm quite happy he stick with Lala, because I think Lala had a pretty decent game, like a 6.5 or a 7. Like he defended quite well. He provided overlap,
good crosses.
Yeah, but there was nobody that had a good game on Thursday. But I did leave the game on Thursday thinking that this guy is one of the most soulless players I've ever seen play for the team. So honestly, it's like I couldn't feel any energy. It's just like there's something about him. He plays like, it's like, is he there? Is he not there? Like, has he got any aggression?
It's robotic.
Yeah, it's like show some emotion, or just like show something like that you're in the game, or like get a yellow card, like tackle someone. Like I don't know.
Got a yellow today, didn't he? Or maybe
did he get a yellow today?
I don't know. He also had a big hit. He took a big hit from outside the box. Was going for goal. Haven't seen that from him before, but yeah. But I see where you're coming from.
I'm glad he stuck with him today. I think that's important, because I think if he didn't play today, it would be one of those things again where we really need to settle on that defense.
Yeah, we need him defensively.
Yeah,
and then also from all red white, Pavone. Our old boy from, what was it, last winter, free agent in January. Well, we have to, if we used all the money on Henry Onyekuru, I think, but maybe
who knows?
Free agent. Well, we'd have to pay him gargantuan wages. That's the problem.
Yeah, but again, speculating, but Rony Lopes back to Seville. Pavon back on the agenda. I can definitely read the headlines.
Semedo leaving frees up some money. Who knows?
Yes, I can definitely see that headline in January transfer window. I can see that happening for sure. Mm-hmm. DK7, stop it, mate. Stop it. It's like he says, you miss El Abdelawi. Yeah, mate. We all do. We miss Tsimikas too. We miss Tsimikas. We miss Giovanni.
Miss Djordjevic. I miss.
Okay, those guys were a little bit, in the past.
Come on, Costa. They would help us out. They would help out. I miss Giannakopoulos.
Yeah, Djordjevic, Giannakopoulos.
I miss Yorgatos. Imagine Yorgatos in this team, Costa.
Stop.
Well, maybe it's time for man of the match and coach's grade. Costa, I think you spoiled your man of the match already. I think I'm going to go with Aguibou, Baby Camara as well. Like I said, he tapered off a bit in the second half, but still he was the 2 goals would not have happened without him. And we needed both of those goals to win the game. He was the engine that really got us dominating PAOK in the first half. Another very good performance. And I mean, he's going to continue being one of the first people on that team sheet. Pedro Martins, coach's grade for me. I don't want to. We beat. It's difficult because we beat PAOK in a derby. Starting Garry Rodriguez is a very bold move. Starting Aguibou Camara in the 10 is a good move. The 4-2-3-1 worked really well. It's like if I could give like a first half grade, it's an A+, and then if I could give a second half grade, it's an F. So maybe we average out and say a C. I don't know, because it honestly seemed like he was trying to lose the game. I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, I'll say a C for Pedro Martins. Maybe a bit critical in a big win for our team that keeps us at the top of the league and we beat our rivals, but he didn't do us any big favors in the second half. I'll just say that.
Yeah, for me, it's a B- or a C, like you said, because I think the first half, the setup was great. I think we played some of the nicest football we've seen all year. PAOK are our biggest rivals in Greece, and in the first half, they were nothing. They did nothing in the first half. We were clearly the better side. We were better set up. It was a joke. Like the first half was a joke with those kinds of players, and it could have been more goals, and probably should have been in the first half if we were a little bit more careful in the final third. Then the second half, just the changes that he made, questionable. So, and yeah, the last 10 minutes, the game was ending, and you were just thinking, blow the whistle, like get the win. So it's early days, but yeah, for me, probably a B- for coach today. And man of the match, I already said Aguibou for me. Clearly, the pressure in the midfield, the direct running, such a lively player, and he got the first goal and the assist. Easy one today.
Shout outs to Socrates as well. I think he played reasonably well, and as he always does. But he gets an honorable mention from me. Question from Fetanos that I like. What's that?
Socrates has been playing consistently, yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope everything goes well. Like he's 32, 33 years old. He's been playing consistently 2 games a week. Maybe he gets a rest against Olympiacos. I don't know, but I agree. Socrates was great in Frankfurt, by the way, as well. Really watching him live, it was quite the performance.
Costa, it's okay. He gets a rest every month or so when the Ethniki get together to play. He gets to hang out at home with his family, so it all works out. Fetanos again. I actually mentioned this, I want to say last weekend, or last time Aguibou scored, but Fetanos asks, is Aguibou better than Christos Tzolis? And I think it's an interesting dialogue. Obviously, Aguibou is not a Olympiakos academy player. He's not Greek, all that stuff. But I think we're getting there. He might just be Costa. I don't want to say it yet, but I think we could see Aguibou in the Premier League a lot sooner. I think Aguibou will be in the Premier League next year, and Solis will be in the Championship. So, I mean, make of that what you will. It's hard to say, I guess, at this point. But
I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think Aguibou needs to put some muscle on. He's got a great touch. His decision making is getting better. Like we saw the pass today for Masoura's goal. I think earlier on in the season we might have seen him not make that decision at the right time to pass the ball and open up the play to Masouras, who slotted it in under Paschalakis to make it 2-0. So, I mean, he's getting games, and One thing that worries me a little bit with these kinds of situations is that when you're a 20-year-old player like that, he's 20 years old, isn't he? He's 20 years old. He's playing week in, week out, starting every game, and sometimes you ask yourself, all right, is he gonna? In Greek, we say "thakavalis to galami." Is he gonna get overconfident? That is he just gonna rest on his laurels, as we say in English? That's something that you worry about with a player like that, who's 20, who's playing week in, week out. Does he have competition in his position?
Not until Fortounis gets back.
Yeah, but we know what Martins has been like with Fortounis. Do you really see? I mean, Fortounis is going to come back maybe March, April next year.
Well, and he's not gonna be an everyday starter probably at all this season.
No, but then you've got Valbuena, who can play at the 10. Who, I don't know if he was on the bench today. Was he on the bench?
I can check, but I mean, I think it's pretty clear Martins prefers Aguibou to him at this point. And I think Aguibou. I see what you're saying. I do. And for what it's worth with the Solis thing, they're very different players as well. I think that needs to be said. Valbuena was on the bench, but obviously didn't get in. So, I do think that's a concern. But it's also difficult because other than resting him, he is very good. We kind of do need him. It has to be said. So, yeah, I think it's a valid point, Costa, and it hopefully he doesn't become overconfident. But also, yeah, we need him, and for what it's worth, him playing a lot really helps his resale value as well if we do end up selling him.
Yeah, so this is not nice news. All Red White Sport 24 just posted that Garry Rodriguez got injured. Apparently, I'm reading this now as well. There are fears that Garry Rodriguez may have sustained a thigh strain. Don't know if it's 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree. We'll know more. We'll know more tomorrow. In any case, there's a game against Olympiacos coming, and then he's not eligible against Frankfurt. Could be worse, but I hope it's nothing serious. So yeah, I guess that we do finally have an answer to that question. Why on earth did Garry Rodriguez come off at the end of the first half, beginning of the second? So yeah, thanks All Red White for flagging that.
I'll bump Coach Martins up to a C+. But still, I think he should have put Vrusai on instead. Garry, best please get well, my friend. We need you back for these Greek games. We need to make sure we stay on top of the league. Hope it's nothing serious. I think that's about all we've got, Costa. Just one more thing I want to say. We talked quite a bit negatively and very much, as we do, dissecting and criticizing things and picking out little things that we don't like. This is Gate 7 International. This is what you're going to get. It is what it is, even when Ari and Lambro are not here. But we beat PAOK, okay? We have to talk a little bit. PAOK, they think they're hot. They think they've got all this new manager, and we still beat them. So, it has to be said. PAOK, just remember where you belong in Greece. Just remember who has 46 titles and who has 4, I don't even know. Just remember, we rule this land, as the title of this video says. Olympiacos is Greece's biggest club, and for all those little PAOK fans and all their little annoying mouths when we lose in Europe and they get all excited, just remember we can lose all the games in Europe and we can still come home and beat up our little brother up north whenever we want on the weekend. So PAOK, thanks for playing, guys. See you next time. Can't wait. Great back line you guys have up there in Thessaloniki. It really gives me 2020 Ike memories. Thanks for playing. Was fun. Enjoy the cup final, as Valbuena say, and enjoy your little taste of actually winning something for once in your lives. And we'll see you soon, PAOK fans. Thanks for playing. Costa, anything else?
Adeya.
You just listened to an episode of the Gate 7 International Podcast, a podcast connecting Olympiacos fans from Brussels to Tokyo, from Toronto to Geneva. We are 4 Olympiacos fans from every corner of the world, bringing you news and interviews of the team you love in English. With new episodes twice a week, you will never miss out on the latest updates and stories of the team you love. If you liked what you heard, make sure to follow us on social media at Gate7INTL, give us a subscribe on YouTube, or even leave a review on all our podcast channels. Until next time, this is our team, our city and our story. Thrylos είσαι. Στο μυαλό κάτι μαγικό.